Welcome again, everybody. This is another everybody's favorite fantasy football podcast. I'm your host, Brad Kiblowski, here again, live in the new city, Peoria, Illinois. It's raining outside. It's about 95 degrees, but it's having a good day. I got two of my colleagues again, Mr. Eric Plude. Welcome.
Good to be back. Thank you for having me.
And Mr. Andrew Price. How you doing?
I'm doing well. A little bit nervous to be in front of the camera again. It's been a while. It's like opening day again. Got the butterflies going, but it's good. 80 degrees and sunny, never rains out here, so gotta love that.
So you got your hater blockers on today, Mr. Price?
Oh no, it's my future's so bright that I have to wear shades to help the eyes.
I see.
I haven't reached that point in my life yet. I got to get there somehow. But yeah, we just kind of want to, get a off-season podcast in for our fans. I know. I was looking at the analytics the other day. We had over 13 million subscribers and viewership per video. We had over 6 million. So it was a lot of views last year, and we want to increase those totals with our ads going forward. This is actually brought to you by one of my companies, Gatorade. PepsiCo. Work for PepsiCo now, and I got to support the company. And Gatorade's one of our companies, so I got to support them. So, brought to you by Gatorade today. So just this off season, I don't know if you guys have been thinking about the next upcoming fantasy season. I mean, I've been doing my fair share of mock drafts and podcasts. I've been listening to other people's podcasts, been talking with other people in different leagues, seeing what they have thoughts. But any just opening remarks you guys want to dive into?
I'll start with something I've been thinking about, kind of a question that's been in the back of my mind for the whole offseason, even part of last year, is who's going to be running Hutch's team this year? I know we had Mary Beth, we had him, we didn't know. So I think that's a big question going into the season. I think we can discuss that. There'll be a lot of assumptions made, but I think once the season comes, we'll figure that out.
Yeah, I was going over some of those some emails I got from fans. They were watching some of those videos again, and they told me about the one where the rightful owner of that team talked about what happened. They just had some concerns as well as, are we going to get a co-ownership deal? What do we have to do if we have 11 owners then, if that's the case? It's a 10-person league. How are we going to deal with this? But great point, Eric. I had a lot of emails about that. I was going to bring that up later. But yeah, Andrew, what are your thoughts? What do we do with this situation?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what to do with the Hutch situation. I'm more concerned of how many teams is Joe going to own this year, own and operate.
Good point.
I know he got a couple last year. Is that going to happen again? Is he going to get 3, maybe 4? I don't know. But I'm curious to see not only who our commissioner is, but how he's going to handle that situation too.
Yeah.
That's good. Price, you bring up a good point, the commissioner situation. Kip, I know you were vying for the spot. I know Kyle said he wanted it. I know Joe did win. Have we come to a conclusion as a league as far as how we're going to move the situation forward, or we just going to let that one slide? I mean, what straws out of a hat? What are we doing?
I think we're going to let it slide as about as smoothly as Kib slid out of this video. But I do think that, logically speaking, Kyle would make the most sense as the commissioner. I know, Kib, it's hard for me to put my support behind you after trying to explain what Central Time was today. That was rough. For those of you viewers out there, I know that's sort of. I want you guys to all know that Kib thought that Central Time was only an hour ahead of Pacific Time. Had to walk him through this process. It was tough.
That was tough.
And after that, it's hard to put my confidence in you running a league,
so Price,
especially with us.
What you're saying is you're putting in a shameless plug for Kyle as commissioner right now, if I understand this correctly.
Shameless plug? No. Well, yes.
Fair.
I mean, if I had to put my vote behind someone right now, it would be Kyle. But in the presidential elections, that's a hot topic. I would have put my support behind Ted Cruz, and we all know how that worked out. So who knows what's going to happen?
No, I think since Joe or Joe's other team, the other guy may have you, he won the league outright. I think it's only fair that he has the power to delegate who has it. Whether or not he wants it himself, whether or not he gives it to Kyle. Kyle could be a better commissioner. I do think giving it to Kid would be a bad idea. Unlimited trades to himself. There'd be a lot of issues with that, let alone the fact that he'd probably have 5 teams. So I have to agree with Price on that one. I think Kyle would make a good choice, but I think it's Joe's decision ultimately.
I could be wrong, but didn't last time Joe ran a league there was the most collusion. That's our theme of every year, it seems like. Wasn't collusion at an all-time high the last time Joe ran a league?
You could say that.
Yeah, this past year, you could say that he had collusion with the other guy, if you want to count that himself, multiple times. I actually went through different scenarios of him trading within 2 minutes of each other of different players. Kobe Fleener for Russell Wilson was a trade. All that. It was a little ridiculous, some of those trades I went through. But, yes, Joe being commissioner, you could run into some more collusion like last season was. So I don't know about that. Back to your point about me not being able to run a league, Price, seeing that the company that I'm working for has me running a team of sales reps, I don't know how my future is the case. So I'll have to do that.
I think the real question, Kib, is why PepsiCo lets you do that. I think that's the real question right there.
They must be desperate. I have no idea because
they give you the tools to be your own boss.
Yeah, there you go. I just have daily podcasts with my own team.
That's marketing at its finest right there, Price. That's beautiful.
But for commish, I would like to be it. I would have. I gave Kyle it the second year after I won. That was kind of like your rightful passage. If you win the league, you get to become commissioner. I just gave it to Kyle. I kind of wanted because I felt bad for him that he didn't make the playoffs, all that such and such, blah blah blah. But I just, I don't mind not being it, but also I would like to be it just to see what I would be like.
Kib, so you're saying if Joe theoretically gives Kyle the rights to be commissioner, he has to give you the rights to be commissioner as a favor in return for what you did for him?
Yeah, essentially that's kind of what I'm saying.
Interesting.
But I don't know. I mean, we can hold up for a vote. I don't mind that. I also don't mind, somebody that's never been it being it. That makes sense. So Joe and Kyle have been it before. Somebody else can be it this time around. You don't know, but I wouldn't mind either way. But it doesn't matter to me. I think I'll have a good time like always, and I'll try to make it as good a situation as I can. But
I think we all know.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying. I think we have some viable candidates for commissioner. I think we also know who shouldn't be commissioner.
Good point.
Is Jonah going to be in the league again?
I hope so.
Who is Jonah? I've just Snapchatted him once in a while this summer. I haven't really talked to him, but I can text him. We can ask him. We can see where his mindset's at going forward.
I'll text him.
But that would be a wrong time to text him now. It's July 19th, 9 o'clock at night. No time. I don't know why it would matter right now, but anyway, 8:19 here, but
it's 9:19 where Jonah's at, but no.
But yeah, that was a great subject. Thanks, Eric. I had burning emails all summer long about who was going to be our next commissioner, and appreciate that one. But Andrew, going into next season, there's been concern over your ending of losing to me in the last week of the season, not to make the playoffs. If that's going to have consequences, or if that's going to carry over into the next season. Do you feel like this is going to be something that's going to haunt you for the rest of the time, that me, of all people, beat you in the last week of the season so you wouldn't make into the playoffs?
No, I think what a lot of people don't realize is how busy my schedule was last year. The last couple of weeks, I looked at my team and I looked at what I had to accomplish personally, because I'm always striving for greatness. And I looked at my team and I said, you know what, I think it's time that we throw in the towel a little bit, maybe throw some games and focus on some other aspects, trying to become a well-rounded person. I was the best player in the league for a stretch there this year. Last year, made it to the championship. Wanted to give some other people a chance to shine, and I really didn't want to be commissioner. And I thought that if you won the league, you were automatically commissioner, which obviously wasn't the case. Miscommunication there. and I couldn't have that on my plate. I'm too important to delegate that much time into one thing, so couldn't have that.
Bryce,
So
are
to
you
answer
also
your question, I guess no.
Bryce, are you also throwing in the towel as a predictor, seeing as Hutch was your horse to win, and I stymied him. He didn't win. He was out of the playoffs. I crushed him.
You did.
He cried, and you predicted him to win. So are you throwing in the towel there too? I mean, what do you have to say about that?
No, because I have this spin zone here. I can stand by my pick because I picked Hutch to win, and when Hutch gave his team off to Mary Beth, how was I supposed to know that was going to happen?
Legitimate.
I picked Hutch.
That's
He
legitimate.
mousetrapped himself. Okay.
True. That would be on Hutch in that situation. However,
Yeah.
we don't know exactly at what point did he transition the team over to Mary Beth. I don't know.
Yeah, I could have been on Hutch. I could have said Hutch, not knowing Mary Beth was running the team, and then Mary Beth handed it back to Hutch. So either way, I mean, I could have been picking somebody. I don't even know who it was. It could have switched.
I think this means that we need a fantasy insider. We need a Adam Schefter. We need someone to specifically go and figure these things out.
We need Hutch Cam.
Hutch Cam.
That's fine. I will do my best during this year to get multiple sit-down interviews like I did last year with Kyle about why he didn't want to come onto our podcast at the beginning. I'll try to get one with Hutch. Hopefully it's later in the summer so we can sit down and discuss some of these issues that you guys are having right now. This is why you are my colleagues, so I can get these ideas flowing and I can get the calls out to our agents and see what's going on to get our schedules ready to go. But yeah, I kind of back to your point, Eric, about the running of the. I have actually no idea.
Today, Junior.
But anyways, nice shades there. New shade look there, Price. But must be sunny out there. But moving on. What have preparations? I've seen that come in from fans. Preparations. What have you done mentally, or for this upcoming season? Have you thought of anything? Have you been doing things? Have you been talking to people? What have you been doing recently?
I'm not going to lie. I've fallen in love a little bit out here. I think that might distract me long term when it comes to this season.
Yeah.
So worth it, though. Totally worth it. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm not pre-making excuses, but I think that I may be put back a little bit in the first couple of weeks and have some ground to make up. It's definitely affected my research, my studying, and I think it might have an outcome when my boys hit the field and try and perform for me.
Bryce, this question for the fans, is there any possibility that your team's doing poorly, say you are distracted, fourth week, right? Do you turn the team over to your new love interest, to this Juliet in your life? Do you turn the team over? I mean, hypothetically, what happens in that situation?
Yeah, we don't really know what the future holds. Going to be thousands of miles away, so it's going to be tough. I don't think I'm ever going to stoop to the level that Hutch did. I can't see myself being that guy. But if I need a scapegoat, there's no putting it past me that I might turn the team over to someone else and blame them. That's what I do if I have to, and I might do it.
And we saw results of that. Like you mentioned, turning the team over to a significant other. It paid off for Hutch for a short time, but
I would argue it did not pay off for Hutch. I think he got worse.
I'm saying in a short time where he was first in the standings for probably 2 or 3 weeks, I think, and stuff like that, where he got a little glimpse, a little bit of glory, and a little bit of, hey, I'm the best person in the Salisbury division. So it worked out for him just for a little bit, but in the long run, it didn't pay off. So I can see where Andrew's where he could play that the right way. I mean, it is his last semester at Purdue, so if he wanted to focus, get his job in order and all that, I could see him passing it off to somebody else. So
unless you get a job out of the internship and then you have nothing to do next semester.
You have nothing to do. Then all you have to do is focus on fantasy football. You're right. That's preferable. That's probably what I would want to do, but I don't know. I wasn't able to do that. But
we'll keep an eye on the story moving forward.
We will. Moving forward, the Mike team name. Will Mike have a different team name? Will he ever change it during the season? And what type of team name predictions do we have for his team this year?
Has anyone seen what craft beer he's been drinking recently?
I was going to say the same thing.
I'm going with the 120-minute IPA.
120-minute IPA. Okay. All right. Well, that's a start. That's a start. But do you think he'll get a little creative with it this year, or be kind of dull and kind of bland the rest of the whole season? All right.
Mike, suck my gumballs IPA.
It's a good one. That'll work.
That's a start.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's in Chicago now. What kind of breweries do they have there in Chicago? I don't know what kind. He might be diving into some weird IPAs out of cans now. I don't know. Mike's over there in Chicago living it up. But
I talked to Mike today. Sources had me talking to Mike today.
Over under 60% that the Chicago Cubs are in his team name.
Over.
Yeah, way over.
Something to do with the Cubs. We'll have at least one person in our league have a Cubs-related name.
Probably. I mean, even if they're I guarantee they don't even make it past the first round of this playoffs. They'll lose in the first round. But that's a different podcast, different time. Yeah, that was just a little bit of insight on Mike, what he was thinking, and then I was going to go kind of the other way to his old roommate Kyle. What exactly? What his future holds after having such a disappointing year this year, having the lowest point totals per week next to Andrew. I don't know how Andrew got through his weeks with, scoring 60 points and winning all those games, but that was a little ridiculous.
Players play, winners win, and that's all. You don't want to score too many points. You just want to win. No sense in humiliating your opponent. Score
I don't see how that makes any sense.
I tell my players not to waste energy. If we don't need the points, no need to collect them.
Yep. Yeah. Your starters in the fourth quarter. I see that.
Yeah, well, good thing there's no week-long break in between games. Yeah, or that would make sense.
One thing about Kyle that I'm worried about is that Arizona sun. It's 100 degrees there every day. Might fry his brain. Might have his decision-making a little bit in question. So that's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah. Hey, and him working for a government-related company.
True.
Huh?
That is very true. Very true. Great point.
He may not be able to talk to us that much. He may not even have that much free time. It may be like one of those deals where if he tells us he has to kill us type deals. And
I would suck.
I don't want that to happen, obviously, but I don't know. We'll see what goes on with him. But any other questions out there? I'm scrolling through all these from Twitter right now, and I can't really find much.
Yeah, I got one coming in here, Kib.
Yeah.
Going along the lines of Kyle, who wins the vaunted Kyle-Hutch rivalry week matchup?
Yeah, good point. Hutch is 2-0. Is that what the case is? Or 3-0? Wow. Yeah, 3-0. I don't know. Andrew, why don't you start?
Yeah, that's the matchup I look forward to every week, and it only happens once or twice. So, I just, you got to pull for Kyle, even though, he lets you down seemingly on a consistent basis. But yeah, I really don't know what else to say except I'm looking forward to watching those two mediocre teams play mediocre fantasy football and then have mediocre arguments back and forth with each other. With all due respect.
I wish Kyle had one extra semester. I had one extra semester just so I could go to that whole week before and the day after, whoever loses, just to be a part of that conversation. But yeah, I'm also looking forward to when we look at that matchup in the previews of the check marks. How we did a lot of our analysis through our check marks last year. I want to see.
It's the only way to do it.
Probably going to be all pushes, knowing the way those two draft. So who knows with those guys? But Eric, your thoughts on that matchup?
Yeah, I don't think Hutch will probably win. Yeah, history shows that. Check marks will verify that. But will Hutch do anything with the season? No. History shows that.
Hutch has got Kyle's number, but guess what? Great Britain had our number till 1776. Then what happened?
Good point.
We beat that ass.
Yeah, good point. We did.
Mm-hmm.
We went full-blown savage on them.
And then we were buddies after that. Everything was fine. We fought 2 wars together.
Yeah, now they're their leadership's in question. The Brexit was good, though.
They have a woman prime minister now, Price. What do you think about that?
I'm focused. What doesn't make sense to me, I don't want to get into British politics on the podcast, but they put somebody in power that was against the Brexit now that after they voted to leave. Makes zero sense.
Well, and now the UK is going to get broke up. Scotland's going to leave.
I mean, if they're, I'm pro.
Their own island. They're on an island. You can't go anywhere. Where Scotland, you can't just shovel away from the whole.
They're trying.
I think Kib thinks that when countries leave like this, they literally move the land to a different location.
That's why Pangea is not formed anymore because everyone broke up.
Do you fuck with Pangea?
I'm going with that. Anyway. It's not like Scotland's. What does Scotland do for us that's really gonna do for the whole Europe and
shit.
Exactly. So them becoming their own.
They got great whiskey.
Oh, good point. That's probably 90% of their exports right there.
Yeah, but I don't know. Let's see what goes on. Yeah. Nothing. I got nothing.
I know the viewers want to know what's going on with you guys. You guys feeling good and living better where you're at, or how's it going?
I mean, for me, I'm still at home for 2 weeks, so same old, same old. Saw Kib last week in Peoria. Seems to be doing well. Making the big move down to Price's home country, St. Louis. Gonna be a huge Cardinals fan.
Woo!
Moving to Denver after that. And then Oklahoma City. Kevin Durant's not there anymore, so nothing really to show for there. That's gonna suck.
Kevin Durant's not there, so they needed somebody to come fill the shoes. Looks like they settled for you.
You got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, big height difference. And then Baltimore. Hope I don't get punched in the face by Ray Rice. And then after that, who knows where I'll be.
Wait. Ray Rice? He's still in the NFL?
I just know he punched some chick in the face in an elevator. Probably in Baltimore.
They had those
Classic Ray Rice.
They had those riots 2 years ago, right? Too.
Oh yeah, they did.
The Orioles played in an empty stadium.
Yeah. That's weird. But yeah, I'm doing all right. Like I said, my schedule is going to be a little tough for this first month, but I'll fight through it. I'm resilient. I'm thinking of either coming up at the end of this training where I have to do all this 4 a.m. to 2 in the afternoon stuff. Either going to Chicago that next weekend after, or I think when I end is almost that first weekend of when Purdue starts. So I may come there that first weekend of school. I don't know exactly when training is, but one of the two I might come to just to get away from here for a little bit.
Yeah, we got to organize. It's awesome to come to Purdue, but we also got to organize a trip to Chicago, everybody.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah.
You, God knows where Eric will be, so that might be impossible, but us three.
And also, we probably should talk about, a date we should set for this draft. I mean, that's probably one of the topics we should have talked about. But I was thinking, because the season starts on 9/11. I told Price that.
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah, that's the first Sunday, or they start on that Thursday before, technically. So we'd have to do it, obviously. What is that? 9/8 is when the first game is on that Thursday night. So we'd have to start it draft anytime before September 8th.
Can we draft now, or
we could, but let's say a player gets injured because they haven't had training camp yet. They haven't had, and people haven't signed with their teams yet. We could draft now, or we could draft, just on a random Saturday or Sunday, in August.
I'm drafting J.J. Watt with my first pick no matter what, so it doesn't really matter to me. He could tear his ACL in training camp. J.J. Watt's my first pick.
Good luck with a mediocre season.
Oh, and I do have to say the lighting in here is not doing justice for how beautiful my tan has gotten. It looks really white, but we got a nice bronze going on. California agrees with me out here. I'm feeling good. The weather's beautiful.
You're in love?
Yeah, I'm just like we talked about before the call. The patented 3-week rule that I had, which is really more like 3 days, sometimes 3 hours. I don't know. It's just I'm setting myself up for a tough time come August 5th, my last day here. And I know everyone's worried about where I'll be. I'll be in Indy for the week after that, and then I'm back to the grindstone in South Bend and then Purdue.
Wait a minute, what's the schedule then? What was that?
Huh?
When do you end your internship out there? What was that?
I fly back August 6th, and then I work in Indianapolis for that next week. So I'm done like the 13th.
Is that how you're presenting there?
Oh. So you get like
I got some loose ends to tie up, you could say.
you get like a week off before your internship and then before school starts, basically?
Yeah. My cousin's getting married. I got to go to that.
Weddings are
Stanley's getting married the 17th of September, too. Mark your calendars.
Mark, let me check. It'll be free. +1. Let me know.
You guys didn't get the invite?
Did not. But yeah, I got a wedding in October I get to go to. That should be cool.
Who's getting married?
My cousin. So.
My cousin's 20 and he's getting married, so good luck.
Young. That's a little on the younger side.
Why?
Hey, he might be 21.
Good for him.
Is he Jewish?
No.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah. This is just another great podcast from all of us here. We went through a lot of the fans' emails and a lot of burning questions I was sitting on since the end of last season. But Andrew, would you like to give us some closing remarks here before we end this podcast?
Yeah, sorry. I got a glimpse of my future again. Hold on. Ooh, all right. Yeah, I just hope you guys bring your A games this year. I really want to challenge. It's not about winning or losing. It's about how you play the game. Just keep that in mind. And if a tree does happen to fall in a forest and there's no one around, does it really make a sound?
Wow, wise words from a decent man. Eric.
Yeah. I'm going into this season with the mindset of getting back to the playoffs. I had every season I was in the playoffs. Last year I had a drought. So kind of hoping to bounce back here.
Every season you were in the playoffs except last year. So one time you were in the playoffs, and most of the people listening to this weren't in the league. I just want to.
We had 2 seasons before that. I don't know. We were getting 1 season, Price. We had 2 seasons. Kid is showing the ring. Obviously, there's proof.
Yeah, I've done 2 seasons.
Wait, you guys can't see it.
Time flies when you're hanging out with great people like you guys. I guess I don't even realize I had 2 seasons under my belt.
Time flies. But yeah, I'm going into this season with the mindset I gotta win. Gotta win now. That's always been my mantra.
Win and win now.
Win now, not last season. We forget last season. We're moving forward. Draft a little better. Probably Aaron Rodgers. Hopefully he has a better season.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Aaron Rodgers, giddy up. Ride that pony straight to mediocrity.
That's what I've been doing for years.
Collarbone.
But last question, burning on my mind. Saw the Republican National Convention last night. Who we thinking is going to win this pivotal election coming up here? And
again, politics. Donald Trump is as liberal as a Republican can get. Really, we put out a horrible candidate from the Republican side. It makes me sick. Honestly, I'm very upset about it. I hope he wins still, but
it's not. If you're endorsing Hillary, that's.
Yeah, like I said, I hope he wins, but it's the most liberal Republican I've ever seen.
Not a Republican, but yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So I'm torn between voting for somebody like Ted or to go with my morals and go with what my heart tells me I should do, or caving and just trying to stop Hillary from being president. So I'll let you guys know before I vote.
Yeah, I mean, I second what Price said. I think Hillary is, this might be a stretch, but she might be the reincarnation of the devil. So that's not good. She'd definitely be Obama's 3rd term, which would suck. She's also huge. I don't want to use the C word on here, but you know how that goes. But yeah, I gotta agree with Price. Trump's he's not a conservative. He's just trying to get into office. But do I think he's gonna be better than Hillary? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I agree, but it's not really. We can't do anything right now. I mean, There's nothing. There's not a third party out there that's putting up much of a fight. If there was, if they wanted to bring out something, but nothing we can do.
I think South Park put it best.
November.
That the Trump campaign was a joke, and everyone thought it was funny in the beginning, but then no one knew when to stop the joke, and then he actually becomes president. So South Park put it best.
Yeah. They're really up to date on what they want to, what they're saying. They're jokes, but I just want to close it down here by saying thank you to our sponsor, Gatorade. Appreciate everything you've done for us and everything you will do in the future. But yeah, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in once again, all of our subscribers, our advertisers, and my two colleagues. I can't wait to do another one with you guys.
Esteemed colleagues.
Esteemed colleagues, you're right. Can't wait to do another one of these with you guys. Hopefully a pre and then a post draft coming up. But we'll work out those details, and the commissioner will let you know over Twitter and all that later on. But thank you for your time.
Hold on.